Well, hello there, everybody. Hello, all the good people of the world. My name is Crys'Dawna. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, hit the subscribe button. If you're not new here, welcome back, friends and family. Thank you for coming back. Also, thank you guys for noticing that I had cut bangs into my hair last week. I had it up for the last video. I've been doing 2 videos a week lately, but I had it up in a bun and now it is down. I redyed it. So I thought I'd be cool. Like, I want to be hip and cool and, you know, no, I'm just kidding. I just really liked it. I've always wanted bangs. Do you guys see this piece behind me? Does it look familiar to you? I have a video on this piece. I will pop it up right here. But remember the dresser that I did a few weeks ago for my best friend's daughter, who is my pseudo niece. This was something I did for her, and she is now a preteen. She's not quite into yellow anymore. She wants more of a calm blues and greens, so we're gonna repaint this for her. Yes, I know, but I painted it, so it's fine. I know what's on it, all that stuff, so I'm gonna show you guys how to repaint a piece of furniture that you've already painted. And I thought about maybe even stripping the top off to see if there's wood underneath. So if you remember this piece a long time ago, you probably don't remember, this has a factory crackle finish on it. And so I kind of just worked with that in this piece, and I'll still end up working with it because it's a lot to strip all of that off. But she doesn't want these appliques that are on here, and we'll probably pull this applique off. We may pull this one off. We will be using Country Chic's paint, so let me show you guys. We're using some pretty neutral colors today. Neutral-ish. So we're gonna be using these colors, and I'll probably use a darker color. Actually, I'll show you. Okay, this one, the bottom got broken, and so it's been flipped upside down, and I'll probably end up pouring this into another container, but this will be my shading probably. So we're doing some greenish blue colors, and we're gonna use the Decor Transfer by Redesign with Prima called Albery. It's a nice boho, calm, I don't know if you guys can see that design right there. There, you guys see that design? Doesn't look like much, honestly, and the front of it didn't really make me, I wasn't like, oh, I want that, but when you take it out, it's just really cute. It's super cute. You see it's got like the greens and blues and stuff like that in it, so I think this is gonna all tie in really nicely. And I think we're gonna use Country Chic's hemp oil to seal this so I can show you guys a different product from that line. So we are going to repaint this piece. There are mirrors to this piece. I don't have them on here because I don't, you know, because I don't. I'll put it on later. Anyways, guys, if you want to see me make over this bright yellow vanity to something more calm and boho and more, I don't know, more calm and boho, stay here.
The first thing I did was remove all the appliques. I did decide to just remove all of them so that we could really make this sleek and modern. So I'm using a flathead screwdriver. Those were made with fast cast resin, and I knew that because I made those, so I am just popping those off because they were adhered with glue. This is what came with the vanity. It's original to the vanity, and it's a piece of wood, so I used a hammer to get behind that so I could lightly pry it off just in case I ever want to use it again. So these are wood, and I just removed all of the appliques, and I used needle nose pliers to pull out the nails. I want to see what is under the factory finish on the top. So I live in Germany. I'm using a stripper that I found in Germany. So if you're local to Germany, then you can shoot me a message and I'll let you know. But if you're not, then this is the only place you can get it. I put it on, and I put it on pretty thick because I needed to get the paint off of the top, and then there is a factory finish that's pretty thick with a crackle finish. I ended up doing this about 4 times to get everything off. So I'm using my plastic scraper that has a scoop, and you will see here in a couple minutes why that scoop is just so convenient for me. After I'm done with the chemical stripper, I always neutralize it with mineral spirits. So I'm just taking a light amount of mineral spirits, taking a scrubbing pad, and I'm just going to scrub all of this so that way I can neutralize it and get any residue off before I go in with my sander, which I am using my 5-inch orbital by Surf Prep. And this is so good for just ripping finishes off. But I'm going to start with an 80 grit on here, and I'm just going to lightly go over it so that I can get any of that factory finish off that didn't come off with the stripper. And then I'll move up to a 120 grit. And because I'm only doing a little bit of a light wash on here, I want to make it really smooth. So I will go up to a 220 grit, and this will show, it's a really pretty wood grain on here. Okay guys, I'm going to give you a pro tip, fix, hack, whatever. All right, do you see this hinge and there's a little screw and it's just loose? It is stripped. So you're going to take the hinge off. You're going to take, I just took a little sliver of wood, but you can take a toothpick and you're going to put wood glue in that hole, and you're going to push that little toothpick or sliver of wood in there, and then you're going to replace your hinge and you're going to screw that in, and that is going to make it so that it is not stripped anymore. What it does is it fills that space so that that screw has something to catch onto and it no longer is wobbly. So that is a quick fix for you when you have hinges that are stripped and you don't want to replace the screws or the hinges. Toothpicks. The next step is to really prep this piece for your paint. And so I'm going to clean the entire piece really well, and then I'm going to sand it with my 3x4 electric ray. I'm going to go over the entire piece with a 120 grit. I want to smooth out all those areas where we remove the mold, and I also want to make sure that I have some bite for my surface because there was a clear coat on here, and so I want to make sure that I have the best surface possible to repaint over a previously painted finish. I am going to use Country Chic's paint. This is a all-in-one. It is a chalk clay paint, and this color is Wanderess. I'm going to paint the entire piece with Wanderess. It took 2 coats. I like to do thin coats. So if I would have just done a thicker coat, it may have had better coverage, but I like to do just thin layers so that way I get a nice smooth finish. So I put 2 full coats of Wanderess on this entire piece. I'm going to put a Decor Transfer by Redesign with Prima on those 2 front panels. And so I'm going to smooth out the front panel really well with my 3x4 electric ray. That is a super fine 10 millimeter pad. I just want to have a smooth surface before I go in with my Decor Transfer. This is Albery. This Decor Transfer is very deceiving. On the front, it doesn't look like much, but when you pull it out, it is just super chic and boho, and it has those blues and those greens, and I really like it. So I am just trimming this so that way it fits that front panel. I'm going to, there's one sheet that has a repeating pattern, and so I'm just going to use the same exact pattern on both door panels, and I'm just going to cut it to fit perfectly on there, and then we are going to apply it. Once I have a perfect fit, I'm going to remove the transfer from the protective backing, and you're going to place it down where you want. So just be careful when you do this so that you get it right where you want, because you can't just pull it back up or it may ruin your transfer. So I'm going to put it in place, and then I start from the center and work my way up the top, and I burnish it with my hand before I take my transfer tool. So this is a transfer tool by Redesign with Prima. It also comes with a burnishing stick in the tube, but I really like this because it covers a larger area than the stick. And so what you're going to do is I go over the entire thing with the transfer tool, and then I go little by little, and I'm going to burnish it, pull it back, burnish it, pull it back. Now, if your transfer pulls up and doesn't go right directly to your paint, push it back down and then burnish it again, and it will transfer over. So I did this on the entire thing on both sides. And then what I do after I am done is I take a microfiber cloth and I burnish it one more time. I want to make sure that this is really nice and adhered to my surface. You do need to seal these, and so we are going to seal these with Country Chic's hemp oil. So you can seal them with hemp oil, you could seal them with wax, you could seal them with a water-based poly. You do not want to seal them with any kind of oil-based polyurethane. I told you earlier we were going to do a wash on the top, so we're taking Country Chic's Soiree, which is their color. It is like a tan. We're going to mix it with some water, and I'm going to take a paintbrush and I am going to just lightly go over it. I am not going to be wiping this back. This is translucent enough that it's going to create a washed look, but you're still going to be able to see the wood grain underneath. To add just a little bit more dimension, I am taking the darker color called Jitterbug. I'm going to transfer it over. It broke, so I just put it in a little cup. But I'm going to just blend that on the bottom of the legs, and I also do it on the top of the mirror. But I'm just going to lightly add the Jitterbug onto there, and then I'm going to take the Wanderess and I'm going to blend those two together so that it just has a light shadowing effect. These colors are super similar, so it is not hard to blend them together. Although this is a all-in-one paint, I'm going to use Country Chic's hemp oil to do one final seal on this entire piece. And so what you're going to do, it's going to look a little scary at first because it does have a green tint to it, but you're going to put it on the entire piece and you're going to allow it to sit for 12 to 24 hours, just depends on how long it takes for it to soak in. I let it just sit overnight, and then once it is done sitting overnight, you're going to come back to it, and if there is any excess, you're going to wipe it off, and then you're going to buff it in. I use a microfiber cloth for this. I'm just applying it on the entire piece with a cheap chip brush, nothing special, and then I'm using a natural bristle brush on the top, and then afterwards I'm going to let it just sit and then come back to it the next morning. You can see right here, it is the next morning, it is soaked in, no more of the green on here, so I know it looked a little scary at first, but again, it's not. There really is no excess for me to wipe off, so I'm just gonna go ahead and buff it. You can see on the side, there's a little bit of a sheen on the side that's painted, so I'm going to wipe the excess off on the side, and then I'm gonna go in and buff it as well. And when you buff it, it just makes it feel even silkier and smooth and just really, really nice. So this was the last final step for our modern boho vanity makeover.
All right, everybody, here is the piece. Let me back up. It is done and the video is done. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It is a pretty dramatic transformation. We took all of the details and stuff off of it and made it modern and boho for my niece, and she saw pictures of it and she loves it. Her mom saw it and she loves it. So hopefully it will stay in her room with her decor for a while and she doesn't have me repaint it in a couple of years. Ah, you know, whatever. And then she'd be like me and I just change things all the time. So, you guys, I hope you have an amazing weekend and happy creating, and until next time. Also, remember, everything I use will be in the description below if you have questions. But here's the piece. I'll see you guys later. Bye!
You as you drive, do you know I'm looking, and I can't help but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on, I put my feet up, and we just sing along.